guys, Taylor here and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you've already been here, thanks for coming back. So in today's video, I'm coming at y'all with a list. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 5 best setting powders. I believe I did this video back in 2020 and I have not given you guys an updated list since. So if you're interested in seeing, then please keep on watching. Before we start the video, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Please turn your post notifications on so you get notified every time your girl uploads a video, and follow me on Instagram. And with that being said, let's jump right into the video. Okay, you guys, so if you did not know, I love a good list. So if you're looking for top 10 anything, chances are I have it on my channel. If you're looking for best foundations, best concealers, powders, the whole 9 yards, just go and search it on my channel. You'll definitely find some. But I think it's time to give you guys an updated powder list. I'm going to start with one that is the newest to my collection and the one that gave me the idea to give you guys an updated list, because this powder is too good not to talk about. This is the Givenchy Prism Libre powder. I picked this up during the recent Sephora VIB sale and I've been obsessed with it ever since. If you've tried this powder, you know how good it is. It is 100 out of 10 in my book. I got the pink shade. I cannot pronounce the shade name. I will have it linked down below with the name and everything, as well as everything else that I mentioned in this video. But this powder is one that I feel like is great for textured skin, one that is great for mature skin, one that is going to set without being cakey, one that is going to smooth, it is going to blur, it is going to give you that filtered look, but it also has this luminous thing going for it. It is pricey, but I promise you a little bit goes a long way. I'm going to see if I can shake this powder up and show you guys what it looks like. But in the packaging, it's like 4 different shades of pink, and then once you pour it out, it comes out as the perfect pink shade. You guys know that in order for you to see the true color of this powder, I will have to either turn off one of my lights or dim the lights or something. But this powder is a need, especially if you have textured skin. I feel like if you have like acne prone skin, you'd really appreciate this powder because it does not emphasize texture at all. I don't know if you can see the shade of this powder. I really hope you can, but it is more of like a pink shade but with a peachy pinky vibe going for it. The 4 corners of this powder is like all pink, but there's a peachy one there as well. I don't know if y'all can see. I really love this shade. It looks super light, but when I say no flashback, you guys, I mean no flashback at all. It is a great powder if you have acne prone, textured, mature skin, just any skin type. I feel like you'd really like this, but especially if you have textured skin. It's been a minute since I've tried a setting powder and I'm this excited about it. This one isn't super hyped up and I think it's because of the price point, but if you've tried this, then you know how good this is. If you haven't, get with it. The next powder that I have is one that is way cheaper than the Givenchy powder. The performance, the quality of this powder gets 100 out of 10, and it is in this video for a reason. I finished multiples of this setting powder. I don't feel like I even need to show you this powder. I can talk about it and I just know that you guys know which powder I'm talking about. But just in case you don't, it is the Sephora Collection Translucent Setting Powder. This one goes for all skin types. If you have dry skin, it is not too matte. It's just the perfect finish. If you have oily skin, it is still going to lock your makeup in and it is going to wear hours on your skin. You know what, I give this 100 out of 10, but I have to kind of take that back. I think I'm going to give it a 99 out of 100 or a 99 out of 10, just because of the shade range. Even though I feel like this shade works for all skin types, all skin tones, I would still appreciate more shades, but it is one of my favorite powders of all time. And even though it is a translucent shade, I don't feel like it is a white, super white shade. It still has like a peachy undertone to it. I'm going to turn off the lights again and show you guys what this one looks like. So this is the Sephora Translucent. As I said before, it is translucent, but it still has a little bit of like a peachy tint to it. So it's not like a pure white powder. So when you apply it, it just melts into your skin and it doesn't give you flashback. It's not like pitch white. Like, it is a really nice translucent shade. So if you're looking for a more affordable powder, this one from Sephora Collection, I highly recommend. It is very affordable. If you haven't tried this, don't be afraid to try it. Don't sleep on the Sephora Collection brand. They have some really good products. Like, I've stopped using some of my high-end powders for this powder. I finished multiples of this. If you are not new to my channel, you know how much I love this powder. it's a need. If you are looking for a good powder from Sephora and you do not want to break the bank, under $20, this one. Okay, you guys, so the next powder that I have, I believe this one has been in my collection for the longest. This was my most repurchased powder until I discovered the one from Sephora collection, and this is the Mercier powder. This one is the shade Translucent Honey. I think the Sephora collection powder is a great dupe to the Mercier powder, but the Mercier is a little bit more mattifying than the Sephora collection. The only thing I would say to me that the Mercier has over the Sephora collection is shade range. The Mercier comes in translucent, which is pretty much the same shade as the Sephora collection. It comes in Translucent Honey, which is the shade that I have right here. It comes in Translucent Medium Deep. I also have that. I use that as a all over face powder, but for some people it is a great under eye shade. It comes in I believe it now comes in a pink powder as well. I really want to try that. I'm just waiting for it to come back in stock. And with Mercier, you can get like talc free, you can get like different versions of this powder. My favorite formula is the OG formula. This is another one that is great for all skin types. I do feel like if you find that the Sephora collection powder is probably not matte enough for you, then I'd say go with the Mercier powder. This shade Translucent Honey is one of the best yellow powders I've used. If you are familiar with Kunafa from Huda Beauty, I love the formula of that powder, but I feel like the yellow shade could have been a little bit less mustard yellow, and this one just takes the cake in terms of yellow. It is yellow but not as mustardy. It's like a really nice translucent yellow. It doesn't give that yellow cast under your eyes. So this is the Mercier powder in the shade Translucent Honey. I don't know if you guys can see, but I pulled out my Huda Beauty Kunafa just to show you guys what they look like side by side. So this is Kunafa and this is Mercier. I'm sure you guys see what I'm talking about when I said Huda is a little bit more of like a mustard yellow. Don't get me wrong, I love the Huda Beauty Kunafa and it is one of my favorite formulas, especially if you want something that is going to lock your makeup in for hours. I love the formula. I just feel like in terms of shade, Kunafa is not my favorite anymore. I prefer this yellow. If you saw like my first top 5 video, Kunafa was definitely in that. I loved it at the time, but then when this one came out after that, I fell in love with this one even more. All right, you guys, so the next powder that I have is the one that I reach for the most during the summertime. This is what I reach for when I need my makeup to not budge, not move. It is more on the mattifying side. It's a little bit too much for me during the winter time, but during the summer, if I'm going outside and I need my makeup to stay for hours, this is what I reach for. This is the Onesize translucent setting powder. As I said, during the winter time, it's a little bit too much on my skin, but during the summer, in the heat, it gets the job done. This is another one that I love, that it has a ton of different shades. You can get this in translucent, which is the one that I have, and it doesn't give any flashback. It doesn't give any white cast. None of these powders give flashback, by the way. This comes in translucent. You can get a honey that is similar to the Mercier. You can get a gold shade that is similar to like Huda Beauty Kunafa, maybe a little bit deeper. You can get like a medium deep similar to the Mercier. You can get a peach shade, you can get a pink shade. This comes in a ton of different shades. I do feel like this is reasonably priced as well. I am going to show you guys what this shade looks like. This is the Onesize powder. I'm going to show you Sephora next to it. It's not a huge difference, but Sephora is just a tad bit deeper, but Onesize is still not like a pitch white powder. So this is Sephora to it. To the naked eye, you might not notice the difference, but there is a very, very slight difference between the two. If you're looking for a good summertime powder, or if you have oily skin and you need that longevity all year round, this one from Onesize, you are going to really love this. And as I said, a ton of different shades. The next powder that I have is one of my favorites. This is a pressed powder, but I use it to set my under eyes. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Powder. This is in the shade number 2 medium. I love this one because it sets. It is going to lock everything and it's going to blur as well. It is going to give you a brighter under eye. It doesn't matter what other setting powder that I use on my face, I always feel like I need to finish off with my Charlotte Tilbury. So today I used the Givenchy powder and then I went over top with my Charlotte Tilbury just to give me that brighter under eye. I love this for touching up as well. This is meant to be like an all over face powder, but this shade under the eyes is beautiful. This is what the Charlotte Tilbury powder looks like. It has a more neutral undertone. This powder from Charlotte Tilbury is refillable, so if you finish this on the inside, you can just pop it out and just purchase a refill, which makes it a little bit cheaper. This one is more on the pricier side, but it is 100% worth it. To apply this powder, I prefer to use a puff. This one is from Amazon. I also have the ones from Beauty Blender. Sephora collection has one. I link some down below. And then to apply my loose powders, I prefer to use a brush. This one is from BK Beauty. It is the 110 brush. So today I went in with the Givenchy on the brush, and then I used the puff to apply the Charlotte Tilbury. Or if I don't have a brush on hand, you can go the traditional route and just use the sponge with your loose powder. But for my pressed powders, I don't like using a sponge at all, because I feel like putting a damp sponge in your pressed powder can mess up the powder. So that's just how I prefer to use it. Let me know how you like to apply your powder. You guys know I love a good list, but my problem is I have a hard time narrowing down that list. So that's my top 5 powders, and I still have 2 honorable mentions for you guys. The first one is from Maybelline. This is the Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder. If you are looking for a great alternative to the Charlotte Tilbury powder, I think you'd really like this one from Maybelline. The shade is pretty similar. I feel like I could have gone a shade deeper with the Maybelline, but it doesn't give me any flashback. The only difference between the two is that the Maybelline to me is a little bit more mattifying. So if you wanted the Charlotte Tilbury to be a little bit more mattifying, I'd say go with the Maybelline. If you just want a good cheaper alternative, try the one from Maybelline. And then the last one is from LYS. This one is a great setting powder, but me personally, I love this powder for touching up, or if I'm doing like a no makeup look and I want my face to look nice and glowy still, but I want to set everything down, this is the one. This is the shade Ambition. This is also pretty affordable and can be found at Sephora. I'll also have this linked down below, and this is a black owned brand. This is a great underrated setting powder. I believe I did do a full face of LYS, so I'll have that video up above so y'all can see what this powder looks like. So I'll just use a brush if I'm going to touch up, pick up this powder, pat off the excess, and then go in with this under my eyes. And let me show you guys what it looks like. So this is with the LYS, and then this is without. It is perfect. It is a very finely milled powder. It sets the face really nicely without being too much and without being cakey. And I love this powder. I'm going to show you guys what the LYS looks like up close and what the Maybelline looks like up close. So this one is the LYS and this one is the Maybelline. Of the two, I'd say the Maybelline is a little bit more neutral. The LYS has a slight yellow tint to it, but not too much. All right, you guys, so that is it for this video. Let me know your favorite setting powder in the comment section down below. I could not rank these powders at all, but if I was supposed to give you like my top 3, it is definitely the Sephora, Charlotte Tilbury, and the Givenchy. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope you guys found it helpful. Once again, everything that I mentioned in this video I will have linked down below for you guys. Let's keep the conversation going in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.